All right, this is Mobile Gamer Nerd, and we are back with another Raid Shadow Legends free-to-play mystery shard only champion spotlight. Today we're going to be talking about Galek, the man, the myth, the legend. So he is one of the starting four. You can get him just from starting the game, and if you choose him, then you get to enjoy this video a little bit more than most people. I usually pick this guy, Kale, but today we're focusing on Galek. All right, so what does he do? What is he about? What do we try to do with this guy? Let's see. So, skills. A1, he does one attack on two enemies. That is it. That's the whole skill. I wish there was more, but there's not. Um, A2, he does an attack on all enemies, has an extra 15% chance of inflicting a critical hit, places a 30% increased speed buff on the champion for 2 turns, and that's it. But this thing hits hard. It hits like a truck. I mean, if you've ever been hit by a truck, I don't know if you have, but if you have, this is how hard it hits. And then his A3, he attacks 4 times at random. He has a 30% chance of placing a 30% decreased defense buff for 2 turns, and also has a 30% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff if the target has more than 2 debuffs. That's kind of is what it is, but whatever. We do have him in the Phantom Touch Blessing, and he does have a 15% HP in all battles, just like all the other starter heroes, so that's kind of nice. Masteries, we have gone down the offense tree into War Master. Most of this stuff is kind of standard. We did do the 30% chance of decreasing a cooldown if he inflicts 30% of the target's max HP, because he does hit pretty hard. So it's worth it. It'll give him some cooldowns, and it'll get him to do that A2 a couple more times, all right? Support, we really just went down to get him some accuracy. We did get him the 5% chance of reducing a cooldown, and we did give him the increased chance of placing any debuff from skills or artifacts, so he can land that decreased defense. And there you go. Those are his masteries. We do have him in lifesteal, of course. That's basically what we're going to be putting all of our starter champions in, is lifesteal, because we want to match them all up and see how they kind of stack against each other. So right now we've got him in a crit rate glove. Probably want to change that over into crit damage once you have the a little bit better gear. We have an attack chest, speed boots. We have an attack ring, an attack. Yeah, that's a good one, right? An attack amulet, and we have an attack banner, which really this should be crit damage, but it was just a good one. A 5% chance to counterattack. I'm actually kind of cool with that. And more attack. So I would probably say accuracy maybe on this one, or even resistance, depending on where you're using him. But hey, more attack is good attack. Total stats, we have 32,000 HP. We have 4,700 attack, which is actually pretty good. We have his defense at 1727. We probably want to get that up for the later game, because he'll get one shot. So we want to get a little bit more defense. I think we're a little bit high on attack. So really what we want to do for future iterations is we want to get his defense a little bit higher and his crit damage a little bit higher, so that it makes up for his attack being a little bit lower. And yeah, that's really it. He's got 136% crit damage right now, 86% chance to crit, which is fine. He has a 15% extra chance, I believe. And then he's got his accuracy at 87, which is, his resist at 87, and his accuracy at 145. And that's where he's at. Now, what we're going to do with Galek today is we're going to not necessarily, this isn't so much a walkthrough of him. This is more of a showcase of where he can run that we use Kale. All right, so we're going to go in and kind of just use him in places that I would use Kale. There we go. And we're going to stick to stage 20 just because that's where we want to be. I'm not going into hard mode right now because that's, well, hard. So we're going to showcase them all in stage 20. Now we're going to pick our Dragon 20 team right here. There we go. And we're going to replace him with Galek. There you go. Now we're just going to see if they are interchangeable. This is kind of like the fun little test for myself too, because I honestly don't know where he's good and where he's not good. I mean, I know he is good and he's great in pretty much any content I put him in, but we're going to really see if he can kind of hold his own and if he's going to die or not. Especially with him having a little bit lower defense, this may end up being poor, but I think because we have Syl in here reviving, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. The extra drop defense is kind of nice since we don't have War Maiden in here, so that would actually be good. But from what I've seen with Galek, he's a beast. He really is a beast. He's strong as hell. He can kick butt, just like Kale does in regular dungeons. The only thing that he might be less good at would be the actual boss themselves. just because the poisons they just do so much damage. He doesn't have any extra damage, so to speak. He does have the Phantom Touch, but you could put him in Helm Smasher if you plan on using him in more arena-based, content. But otherwise, I don't think it really matters too much. I've seen that having Phantom Touch and using War Master actually, even in the arena, isn't as bad. It's kind of nice. It's just more of a luck-based thing. Whereas the Ignore Defense would be, it works all the time. Well, actually, what is it, 50% chance? So it doesn't work all the time. Scratch that. Well, so far it doesn't seem to be like he's getting whooped or anything, so this is good. And we do have the leeches from Syl doing the stuns because she has a mastery that does that. So that's actually going to help with keeping HP up, which is very nice. It doesn't really work on the boss, so that's not going to help us there, but it does help us in the waves. Now, Galek is really just a powerhouse killer. That's all he is. If I had him built in his exact same gear as Kale, see, he just took a big hit there. He's not going to be able to take a lot of damage. So that lifesteal is kind of important since we have him with very low defense right now. He should probably be somewhere around 2,500 at this point. But as you can see, he can heal himself right back up. So as long as he can survive 1, maybe 2 hits, that's fine. But the only problem is when you get against heroes that have like a 2 or 3 team up skill, he'll get one shot. But then again, so will a lot of the heroes that I throw in here. So as long as you have a decent defense team around him with either shields like that with Valerie or with Revival with Syl, it's not going to really matter too much. The only thing you're losing with Galek versus Kale is really the poisons. That's it. Well, we're going to see. I want to see how much damage he does to the boss at the end of this, because for all I know, he could do a lot. Kale wasn't really shining so much, but then again, we haven't really given Kale a specific build that really would make his poisons, push through and really shine with the damage. But I think Galek might be able to outdamage him. It's possible. Just depends. I don't think he will, but you never know. That's why we're doing this. So let's see what he can do. I'm curious to see him in Doom Tower. We'll run him through some of the levels in there. I'm not in the high end yet because the Doom Tower just reset, but we will run a couple of fights in there just to kind of see how he does in there. But if you picked Galek, just so you know, I honestly don't think you chose poorly. Let's put it that way. I know a lot of people hate on him, but he is actually a very good starting champion, especially for like getting through the campaign, getting through dungeons, getting through waves. Really, the only place that he suffers in Overkill is the clan boss, and clan boss is kind of important, so that's the reason that we pick Kale as our starter. But it's not gonna make your game harder by choosing him. It's just gonna make the clan boss a little bit harder in the beginning, and then once you get a solid team of poisoners, like I don't even use Kale in the clan boss anymore, so it's not like he's going to be in that team forever. If you get lucky and pull some poisoners in the beginning, or even just the uncommon ones that do the poisons, you could probably be fine in clan boss in the beginning. And it's not like he's not going to do damage. He's just not going to be able to do the poison damage that Kale does. Well, so far this doesn't look bad. He's actually he's going to do good damage. He's just not as effective. Basically, the difference is just raw power. If you built them exactly the same with the exact same stats, more than likely, Galek is going to outpower Kale. But if you're doing it based on poisons and damage over time, Kale's going to wipe the floor with Galek. I would assume it's more of a, if it's a short fight, Galek is going to win every time. But if it's a long fight, Kale over time is going to just have those poisons just wrecking whatever you're fighting. Don't matter. We got that smite in there. So, I mean, so far from this fight, it looks like there's really not much of a difference between Kale and Galek. We'll know more once we see the damage. I think, if I remember correctly, Kale did somewhere between 1 and, I don't know, 1 and 2 million. I don't remember. I'd have to actually run them. We'll end up doing that when we get all 4 of them done. But as you can see, he's the lowest defense out of everyone, so those poisons and that big attack did the most damage to him. So if I was going to use him past 20, we would definitely change some defensive stuff on him. So there you go. Our best time was 3 minutes. He obviously did not get anywhere near that, but he did do 1.6 million. But it also could be because the fight just took longer. So he was the damage master in this fight. Let's get out of here. Let's go to the map. All right, where else can we show him off? Spider's Den, I don't think we really need to waste our time in there. He could be used in lower versions of Fire Knight. I don't see why I would bring him in there, but whatever. Let's go in here. I'm going to do stage 20. Now, this was the team that I beat stage 21 with. But we're going to try doing the old school Ice Golem team here. I don't know if I would really use him in here, but you know what? Let's take him out. I don't think this is a good idea because this is actually kind of the team I used in the beginning. I did this, but it was with Kale. So let's see how they run in here, and then after this, we'll kind of throw him in the arena, see how he does in the arena. Even though he's not going to be a great arena person right now because I don't have him set up for arena, but he's definitely built where he could handle the arena at least decently. He's kind of built almost like my Kale was in the beginning, where he's more of an all-round hero rather than a specific hero. And I do love Galek. He is my favorite. He's my favorite just because he looks badass with his stupid axes. He's definitely going to kill himself in wave 2 because that's where the reflect damage is. This is the only fight we might lose just because I didn't bring Armiger. I should have. Now that I've been like really good with Armiger and figuring out that we need him to destroy the ads and make sure we don't get hit with an extra 100% drop defense, basically. Yeah, it would be nice. It seems like it's going to be almost exactly the same as the dragon. If we die, we die. I'm not really that upset about it. I died with Kale. If we get the wrong kind of set of circumstances that pop up when we fight this, so it's not too horrible. The drop defense is definitely going to be nice for some bosses. So in the long run, I mean, Kale might actually be not as good because he can drop defense. So that could be a little bit of a bonus where everybody can do more damage to the boss for having Galek rather than Kale, who basically is a selfish damage dealer unless he's with Frozen Banshee and Gravechill. But he doesn't add to those two. He just does more damage because of them. So really he's not the main damage enhancer in those fights. It would be Frozen Banshee. My Frozen Banshee is built so well for poisoning that at this point, ain't nobody gonna out damage her for poisons. Actually, Gravechill does sometimes. He's putting up some reasonable numbers there. I think I might have him. I didn't look at what actual sets I'm using. I don't know if I have him in an ignore defense piece. I don't think I do. It's possible. I don't remember. We can look again. Yeah, so one of them's dead. He's definitely a good single target killer. Like if there's like one target, he'll definitely do some good damage to it. There we go. Look at that. He did about 60k with the extra hit, which ain't terrible. As long as they're killing these ads, we're good. And Galek is really good at killing stuff. Look at that. Just killing and chilling. No pun intended in the Ice Golem. If this is better than with Kale, I'm gonna be upset. Put so much faith in that boy. That dirty, dirty dark elf boy. All right, we got some decreased speed. Problem here is that once again he's got low defense, so he's more than likely going to get one shot from this. On like if there's like one of those guys left. All right, so we did get some smite. Look at that, putting up 60, 70k right now with not amazing crit damage. Mainly he's doing a lot of damage just because of his basic attack power being as high as it is. That's what I'm seeing. If he had crit damage, yeah, he'd be doing a lot more. I mean, we could definitely get him into the 200 range, and he'd be doing, what, 70% more damage? which is insane. This is where math comes in. If you have 5,000 attack and 100 crit damage, then you would do what? 10,000 damage, right? But if you have 4,000 attack and 200 crit damage, well, guess what? Now you're going to do 4,000 times 3, which is 12,000. So really balancing your crit damage with your attack is one of the more important things. But that means you have to have crit rate. So don't build a ton of crit damage on a hero that has 10% crit rate. That would be dumb. Even though I think 15 is the minimum. I don't remember. I think it's 15. You would think I would know that considering you stare at that stat like every day. I'm pretty sure it's 15. So far, this is actually working out because they're killing those ads quicker than he can do this attack. So we're not getting hit with that full 100% breakthrough of our defense. I just don't want him to do too much damage to the boss himself. I mean, so far it looks like there's really not much difference here between the two. As far as being able to beat things, is there a difference in damage and all that? I mean, we'll figure that out when I do the 4 starting heroes. But from what I can see right now, there doesn't seem to be too much of a difference. Now, I think what I've noticed in this is that we always lose towards the end. And I think that's because they start focusing down the boss and leaving the ads in there. Look at that. That's some nice. He did 58 without the extra hit. There we go. Good. Decrease speed. That's what we want. Did he just heal Galek? Did Apothecary just heal Galek at almost full HP? What is he doing? Ice Golem sucks because it's always a long fight. I like this. There we go. That one attack is so good. That one's actually all his moves are good. He's just a damage beast. Kill that one guy. We got to kill that ad. There you go. Now we're somewhat safe. That might be bad. There we go. He's dead. All right, we made it through. See, now they start targeting him, which is bad. We don't want to do that. We're going to stop that because if he does that attack, we're screwed. That I think is the main issue that we were having is that they target him. I mean, I don't know. I don't want. Let's see. So we got some smite. Smite is right. There we go. I just don't want to get one shot right at the last second, which is what might happen here if we don't kill one of these stupid bastards. We probably could have killed the boss by now, I think. So this is going to be interesting. Uh-oh. You know what? We're going to just auto this and hope for the best. Let's see what happens. Decrease turn meter. That's good. All right. No more defense down. I think we could have just autoed it. We made it through. It's stupid drop HP. All right. And Galek is the winner. Boom. So there you go. That was probably the smoothest fight we've had. But look at that. Look at this dude. Putting up stank numbers. Look at this. Stinky numbers. 3.4 million. That ain't bad. I ain't mad at that. Let's get out of here. All right, let's show him off in the arena real quick. We have to do some arena fights anyway. So let's do it. All right, refresh. All right. Who's a reasonable fight? This is going to be a horrible fight. So what we're going to do is we're going to take her out, even though that is the worst thing I could do. And we're going to try him out. We're going to see what he can do in the arena. Start. Let's see if Galek is all that we bought. Is he worth what we paid for him? Smack it up. And she's dead, but she got the defense down, so no one cares. Let's get some Death Knight hit. And then we're going to drop these bastards. Boom. And now we use this and hope for the best. And look at that. Dead. So I guess you can use him as a nuker. Look at that. Who else we got in here? Now that was a 249k team. This team's going to wreck us. This team, if we go first, we're going to win. If not, we're wrecked. So we're 172 when we beat that 250k team. So yeah, I guess you can use him as a nuker. It is possible. And I honestly don't know what would be better at this point. Would be the ignore defense or something else. Now, if this guy gets his attack, we're screwed. So really, we want to take down. She's going to revive, but we're going to AoE and kill probably those guys. So this guy's the jerk. So we're going to make sure he gets killed when we do this. And there we go. And now we're going to use this skill because it might kill her. And it did. Look at that. Great for killing one hero. I love that skill. We'll do one more for good measure. All right, this is a hard fight because the Duchess. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. That's the whole point, right? To see if he works as a counter against anybody. I don't think he's gonna. Oh, that's it. Death Knight, screwed. Unless we can AOE these guys all down, we're effed. Because she's just gonna revive everyone. I don't think we're gonna win here. Stone Skin has ruined this game. All right, let's do this. There we go. We got an AOE. Let's see if my boy can do something here. All right. I mean, he didn't do bad damage there. Let's see if we can. Nah, ain't gonna do crap. We can't do anything, so we'll do that. So now they're all dead. All right. She's gonna heal everyone back up. Ally protect. All the useful, the normal things that happen. Oh wow, she got another attack. That's right. There we go. So he's dead, but she'll revive him. All right. So now we don't have revive, which sucks. Let's see. I don't think we're gonna win this fight anyway, so it's fine. All right, so Stone Skin is now gone. So now we're going to resurrect everyone. We are going to increase attack. And we are going to hope for the best here. We got some revives and some heals. This is like a nightmare team because they're just constantly reviving and healing and all that other bull crap that makes Arena fun. Come on. If this takes forever, I'm just going to end the fight because I don't feel like doing this for 3 hours. I want to showcase Galek. I don't feel like spending my whole day here. All right, so we're going to do that. Hopefully that did something. Not really. Shields and heals. Let's do that. Nope, still didn't kill anyone. Be nice if Death Knight could die. So, but then the problem is she can just revive the whole team, so it doesn't honestly even matter. Yeah, I'm done. I don't feel like doing this. There you go. But there you go. Him in the arena. This is an annoying team. I wouldn't fight them anyway. I knew they were. I kind of knew we were going to die there. I was like, this is a jerk team anyway. All right, so that's the arena. I mean, you can use them as a base. Obviously, you don't really want to fight Duchesses. It's just she's a broken character. It's really annoying unless you have someone who can one-shot her. Sometimes I'll use Soulbon for that kind of stuff. I wouldn't bring Galek in for that kind of fight. But any like these normal fights like this one that we did in the beginning, yeah, he's a fine nuker. All right, and then we'll just go in and do one little Doom Tower boss, not boss. We'll do a Doom Tower fight just to kind of see. This is my normal team, and we will bring him in just to see what he can handle. We have auto climb on. I mean, this is kind of not going to be that great of a showcase just because these are the early stages. So it's obvious that he's going to have zero trouble in here. I mean, these guys will be lucky if they even get a couple of hits in, to be honest. There you go. 1, 2. 2 hits they got. Sorry. That's always funny. It's always funny to see a team get only 2 hits. There we go. And pop. So yeah, you can use Galek in... Turn this off. You can use him in Doom Tower. So basically, I mean, he's essentially, so far from what I can see, he's just as useful as Kale. He is pretty much exactly the same. They're interchangeable outside of Clan Boss. And even in Clan Boss, he can drop defense, so he is somewhat useful in the beginning. But yeah, he'll get easily surpassed with other damage dealers more than likely. So that's Galek. I mean, he's I would say if you chose him as your starter, you're not missing out. I don't think you're missing out on anything. I think he's just as good. He'll get you through most content almost as easily as Kale. Actually, in some aspects, he'll be better. I know Fire Knight, he definitely performed better in the early stages. Campaign farming, I think he performs much better as a campaign farmer just because of his skills. They just end up working out better than Kale's do. Um, can both become 6-second farmers? I'm sure. 6, 7, whatever it is. Yes, I'm sure they can. But Galek was a little bit easier. All right. So that's Galek in a nutshell. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, things you want to talk about, ice cream flavors that you like, whatever it is, feel free to like, share, subscribe, drop a comment. It's the best way to make everyone know that I exist, is to let people know that I exist. So I thank you all. All right. So this is Galek. This is Mobile Gamer Nerd. And you guys take care.